Alrighty, I'm here with NFT Tech, the first NFT creation and trading infrastructure with a liquid matching engine. Create, collect, and trade digital collectibles alongside fellow NFT enthusiasts. So this is an interesting project that I came across. They haven't launched yet. I think they just finished their seeding round or private rounds, but I found their use case pretty interesting, so I thought I'd make a video, get ahead of it before they actually launch. Um, so what these guys are actually trying to solve is the liquidity issue that is prevalent in NFTs at the moment. So the biggest risk you have with the NFT is when price dumps, you got no one to sell it to, right? If you can't match a buyer, so like if you put your NFT for sale and there's no one to actually buy it, then you're just gonna go down with the ride. Basically, wherever someone chooses to buy is where the floor is going to be. And if there's no liquidity for you to exit with, you're kind of just left holding your pants. So these guys are trying to solve that issue in a pretty interesting way. Just before we dive into it, let me just show you their backers real quick. Because if you know that the backing for these companies are by corporations that have significant success, then you know that they have decent potential. I mean, DuckDAO, anything that DuckDAO touches, does pretty damn well. Can't really, you see DuckDAO as a backer, and you know that these guys are going to do well. The Bias Capital, I couldn't quite find that much about them. VY Sin, these guys are, I think, a bunch of venture capitalist entrepreneurs. Insignias Capital, these guys got into early stage of Polkadot and FTX. I mean, that's huge right there, getting in, being an early investor in Polkadot. Vendetta Capital, I've got their portfolio up here. These guys have a pretty wide array of stuff. I mean, Unido, Bot Ocean, Poker Foundry, Insured Finance, SpiderDAO, ArcherDAO, Bridge Mutual, Boson Protocol, Tidal, this one's going to be big. Uniland, MantraDAO, I mean, the list goes on. Poker Starter, yeah, these guys are primed for success, no question. Megala Ventures, so Megala Ventures partner with DuckDAO as well. These guys are one of the bigger investment companies in Southeast Asia. And they have a couple of good, decent media. They own a few big media companies, I believe. So the market is going to be on point for NFT Tech. Alright, so what actually is NFT Tech? So it's a platform where you can have one-click NFT creation, no coding knowledge needed, find a market for your creations, artists can issue authenticated single edition digital artwork, and every NFT certified on Ethereum blockchain. So I mean, this is pretty standard for a marketplace for NFTs. So they've got a liquid marketplace where you have a sophisticated matching engine for the NFTs. You can trade these NFTs like any other liquid asset by accessing the bid and order book. NFT owners can resell assets in the secondary marketplace, so they can issue their NFTs as the primary artist, and then you buy it and you can actually sell it and trade it with other people as well. So each art piece is evaluated through our NFT valuation system, which assigns a minimum value and secures a deep market through liquidity providers. Liquidity providers can earn lucrative rewards. So we'll get into this in a bit, but this here is the thing that got me interested in NFT Tech, because right now the biggest problem with NFTs, like I mentioned before, is the illiquid nature of them, right? So when the price floor collapses, you're basically fucked if the price dumps. Like with Bitcoin, as price dumps, because there's so much liquidity, you can always exit. So if you see Bitcoin dropping by 5% and you're like, oh, I need to get out, you can just sell, because there's always someone buying. But if you see your NFT price drop by 5%, 10%, 20%, 30%, there's no one buying, because it's not a liquid market. The way it works is you put it for sale and someone has to buy it, or someone has a bid for it and you sell to them. If that bid isn't there, your NFT is worthless. If no one is buying it, no one's buying it. It's not worth shit. So Um, that I've seen that happen to a few NFTs that are just dumped in price, where they were worth a fair bit beforehand. So that is a big problem, and yeah, these guys are coming through with a strategy to actually tackle that, which I'm quite impressed by. Um, yeah, so you can showcase your digital art in VR. So you can hedge your digital art by borrowing funds by using NFT as collateral. This is interesting. Hedge against possible declines by borrowing stablecoin assets like USDT, and extend the NFT collection using borrowed funds. I would assume that this here would be for the most liquid NFTs that they would have on their platform. I don't believe they're going to be able to hedge, or sorry, use any NFT as collateral. But I'd be interested in them expanding on this down the track. So this goes on into their matching engine and the liquidity provider stuff. I'm just gonna jump here. So this is their innovation paper where they break down liquidity. So here we go. They talk about the problem with NFTs at the moment. They actually worded it a bit better than I did before. So marketplaces are largely liquid and widely fragmented. NFT Tech, an emerging NFT infrastructure provider, will launch the first liquid matching engine that can be used throughout the NFT market. In its current form, the NFT marketplace presents a myriad of challenges to NFT owners. Lack of liquidity ranks chief among these challenges. NFT owners can experience significant devaluations in their holdings and may be unable to sell their assets. Moreover, with fragmented marketplaces, NFT traders can struggle to secure counterparty among the widely dispersed marketplace. Basically, what this means is that they struggle to find a buyer, basically, because marketplaces are so dispersed for these assets. You don't have like Uniswap, like a big liquidity provider where you can trade most of your ERC20 tokens, right? It's all over the shop. OpenSea, Rarible, fucking whatever the other ones are. With different marketplaces offering varying infrastructure for storing and sending NFTs, the imperative of securing a counterparty becomes complex. Yep. So introducing the NFT Tech liquidity engine, right? So this is what I was talking about before. The NFT Tech liquidity engine is the first matching engine infrastructure for NFT marketplaces, allowing a bid order book to be formed and incentivizing market makers to allocate liquidity to the lower tail of NFT value distributions. So I think the NFT Tech liquidity engine can be adopted by any NFT marketplace, allowing such marketplaces to implement previously untapped liquidity. A sophisticated NFT valuation algorithm assigns a valuation and valuation distribution to NFT assets. Market makers are incentivized through rewards programs. The evaluation algorithm is powered by years of historical NFT data, weighing up key variables to determine the NFT prices. So this bit here, incentivizing market makers to allocate liquidity to the lower tail of NFT value distributions. I think this, correct me if I'm wrong, if someone in the comment section knows more about this, please let me know. But I think here is what they're saying is the NFTs in the lowest end of the value distributions basically have the highest amount of supply, right? So the higher the supply, the NFT marketplace is mainly dictated by the supply. So that the tighter the supply, probably the more the price is going to be. So the rarer it is, the more valuable it is, and the less rare it is, the less valuable it is. So a tail end of NFT value distributions indicates that the cheapest of NFTs will have the highest amount of supply. So you could, in theory, create liquidity pools out of this because there is quite a large number of them. So this is the starting point, and I'm sure it's going to grow later on. But this makes sense to me. Another good point of that is that the most expensive of NFTs are expensive because they're rare. So you don't really want to create liquidity pools out of these expensive NFTs because then they just lose value. So they're targeting the ones with the high supply to create the liquidity pools so that I guess you can create a market for these NFTs, which probably will have some future derived use case that we don't know yet, right? Like I know there are some crypto projects that are utilizing NFTs to give their users some more use case. So like, for example, I know Astro Tools has an NFT that if you own it, you get access to their pro membership. So you don't need to own their crypto. Same with TrustSwap. TrustSwap was doing something with NFTs where if you buy this NFT, you get access to some of their launch pads. Um, so yeah, like there's an untapped market that we still don't know exists yet. So um, yeah, liquidity pools for like these lower end, high supply NFTs can open up the market to something in the future that we just don't know yet. Market maker activity and yield farming. So basically, guys who provide liquidity, so guys and girls who provide liquidity, who we call market makers, can interact with the NFT Tech liquidity engine, provide liquidity, earn yield on the liquidity, and they also have a possibility of buying the NFT asset for the lowest possible price. This I'm not too sure how the market maker can buy it. Um, Maybe I'm just too stupid to understand it, but I might need some more clarification on that. If someone knows, please let me know. Market makers can also participate in staking program. Liquidity allocated to the staking program is dedicated to the engine fuel pool. So I'm guessing this is similar to Uniswap liquidity rewards or DEX liquidity rewards, where you stake your liquidity tokens to earn yield. Yep. The NFT valuation calculator. So NFT Tech will also provide an NFT valuation calculator for those interested in getting a market-based valuation of NFT assets. The NFT valuation calculator will be particularly useful for prospective NFT buyers who wish to receive a data-based valuation before committing to a purchase. By using the NFT valuation calculator, the risk of purchasing a worthless NFT approaches zero. Yeah, this is another risk as well. Like anyone can put their own price on the NFT, right? So I can I couldn't get like a random piece of shit NFT and just put it up for like $1,000, and some chump might buy it thinking it might actually be worth something. So with this here NFT valuation calc, prospective buyers can basically utilize this tech to get a rough estimate of what the NFT is actually worth. So the risk of purchasing a worthless NFT approaches zero. Um, it's cool. I like it. It's another piece of innovative tech that I don't think it exists at the moment. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. So NFT Tech, creating the NFT market structure 2.0. So yeah, man, I think these guys are good. I think there's going to be guys are going to be copying this later down the track, but the fact that NFT Tech is going to be the first guys on the scene, innovating this kind of market structure, market model, um, is pretty interesting, and I'm all about it. They're solving a problem in the market that does exist and is quite prevalent. So if they can actually pull it off and it's successful, then it's going to actually bring a whole another level of sophistication to the NFT space. Um, and I think, you know, we all know how what Uniswap did to the Ethereum marketplace and to crypto altogether, right? Having something like that where you have permissionless liquidity in like a decentralized manner really just changes the game. So if these guys can pull it off, it does open up the room for like decentralized NFT marketplaces, which is going to be pretty interesting. So I went over the investors previously, but just looking at the Medium article, I found this pretty interesting actually. I hadn't thought about this at all, and you guys might find this interesting as well. I'm just going to read this out for you. Moreover, both Insignias Capital and NFT Tech foresee that the NFT market size surpassing the market capitalization of the entire altcoin market. NFTs provide a bridge to mainstream cryptocurrency adoption with globally recognized enterprises like Nike, Formula One, Louis Vuitton considering implementations of the technology. With altcoins currently trading at a combined value of roughly 650 billion, the NFT market remains in its nascent phase, and infrastructure offerings like NFT Tech will advance and bring further value to this asset class. Shit, man, 650 billion, like that is massive. But you know, their logic makes sense. Like Nike, Formula One, Louis Vuitton, the global brand recognition that these guys have is massive. like, their intellectual property rights for these brands alone would probably, like, Nike's intellectual property rights is probably more than 650 billion, just assuming, because they're like one of the biggest brands on earth. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. I can see it happening, but I don't know how realistic it is, but it's definitely possible. And that's pretty interesting. I hadn't actually thought about this, so I thought I'd just share that. So yeah, that's NFT tech in a nutshell. Let me know what you guys think. I'm quite bullish on these guys. I'm not too sure on what their tokenomics are going to be, but just based on the tech alone, it's pretty. It's got the potential to be pretty game changing if they can pull it off. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the launch. Let me know what you guys think. I know I had a couple of questions before. If any of you can answer that, that'd be great. But yeah, that's NFT tech. Cheers.